And that's what's
Yep.
disappointing for me is there are good career centers, there are programs I'm seeing getting better and better, but the level of detail that you need to be successful, not just to get the entry level job, but the level you need to succeed in life, especially financial well-being, that doesn't get taught. And I find it a very strange situation because the skills and knowledge that are least impactful on your life are the ones that are most incentivized in traditional education today. And the skills that are most valuable in your life are either least incentivized or not incentivized at all, right? It's not even offered, or it's no course credit or no extra credit on your course, whatever it might be. So it's very, very low, and that's disappointing.
That's financial. How many 25-year-olds, not that they have to have a checkbook, but if they got a check, how to write it or what
Yeah.
to do with it when they get a check. I know we're going digital and all that, and it's changing, but those simple skills in your money. I mean, I think a lot of people wouldn't do a Roth IRA like you did at 15 because they know nothing about it. I don't know what that is.
Business with a servant's heart. Welcome to the podcast. Business with a servant's heart. Listen to the podcast. We're all about to talk on life. Our guest will share his life story. We want you to success in life. We're ready and we will start shortly. We're gonna talk on life. We're gonna talk on business. You're gonna shine bright. We are gonna witness.
Shout out to my sponsors, A Mind for All Seasons. Your brain is your greatest competitive edge, so why not optimize it? Just text optimize to 72000, 72000 for instant access to 6 quick videos that help you think faster, remember more, and stay focused longer. A big thanks to Epic App, the 4-step storytelling system I use every day to connect and to convert. Try it free. Email me at stever1961@gmail.com. That's stevr1961@gmail.com, and I'll get you the free app. Doing Business with a Servant's Heart was just named top 6 in small business marketing. Thank you, everybody, for listening and watching. Welcome, everybody, to Doing Business with a Servant's Heart podcast. I'm your host today, Steve Ramona, and this is part 2 with my guest, and he's changed a lot. He's a young guy, I think 30s. He'll correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, you're on. Yeah.
You're in your 40s?
30s, you got it. You're right.
Yeah, I'm in my 30s. Okay, good. He looks at his 20s. But audience, I want you to understand, a year and a half ago, 18 months ago, when we did the podcast, he's much different. Just spending 10 minutes with him, his life has changed. He's made some pivots, but I love that because I want you, the audience, to take that and run with it because you're thinking of doing something different. Do it. You'll figure it out. And I'll stop there. Here's my gratitude for today because we're going to start every show in 2026 with great gratitude. Audience and Alex, you are amazing. The world needs more people like you. And this fits Alex, my guest, perfectly, but you as well. There's somebody out there that needs you. I don't know who it is. Only Jesus and God knows that. That faith, if you're faith-driven, whoever you believe in, they know that, but we don't. That's why we're always looking to make an impact because you never know who you can impact. With that being said, let's bring our guest on. Alex, welcome back.
Thank you so much, Steve. Yeah, your powerful gratitude there reminded me of Eckhart Tolle. For anybody who's not familiar with his work, he said, "You are here to help the world unfold. You are here to make the divine unfold." So you'll have to look up the exact quote. It's from The Power of Now, but that's how important you are. So I appreciate that.
Just the power of now gets me going because
Oh, yeah.
now is a podcast and how we can, make a difference in people's lives. You started a foundation. Let's back up. I was going to start there, but you're doing a pivot. I mentioned in the monologue.
Yeah.
Talk about your pivot in your 30s and what you're doing now. Let's talk about the foundation.
Sure. So I've spent my career adjacent to HR in sales capacities at Oracle, Mercer, a recruiting company, education company. So I've kind of been serving HR in top level roles. And then about 3 weeks ago, I've decided, you know what? Let's take a break, hopefully a permanent break on the corporate world, and let's focus on the foundation. So I've been doing this for about 6 years. It's called Commence, or now it's the Commence Foundation as of late July of last year, we got the 501(c)(3) status, so we were pumped about that. So we've had some minor baby steps along the way, and now I'm really trying to shift it into the main focus. So what we're doing is all of those life's most valuable skills, whether it's networking, communication, what we're doing here, right now, Steve, or it's things like financial well-being is one of our biggest courses. We're trying to make sure that those things that are most valuable in the most critical moments of life, people are really not just baseline proficient, but they have an advanced level of knowledge that they can apply. So our whole mantra is success should not be a matter of, knowledge that's been gate kept. It should be a matter of action. So scaling out the knowledge that's going to have the biggest impact on your life and bringing that to colleges, corporations, different communities, could be high schools. We're scaling it now.
Data and knowledge, the new gold. It's powerful. That's why I love what you do. And we'll get into the foundation in a minute.
Yeah.
I want you to talk to the audience, a piece of advice, because we talked before the show and you were very open and transparent with me. I love that you don't have to be here, but going from a job, good job, and pivoting to something new that's, finances might be a little different. What would you tell the audience that want to do that?
Yeah. So for me, it's part of why we teach financial well-being is I got advice at 15 years old that was perhaps the single most impactful piece of advice I ever got. And I had a little job at a golf course, and somebody told me, who I will say in a second, that I should open up a Roth IRA. Excuse me. So I said, Roth IRA, what's that? It's not something I've come across at 15 years old, right? So for those that are listening, it's a type of individual retirement account. And I took that little piece of advice, put my tips into that retirement account. 20 years later now, life and retirement and everything's a little bit more stable. And it's afforded me some opportunities since, for me, 18 years old was right when the stock market crashed, 2008, 2009. Everything was heavily discounted is basically how I refer to it as. And that gave me an opportunity to kind of build up some financial stability and now be able to take some risks, as we were saying earlier pre-show, to really focus on what I feel like is my God-given purpose in life, my mission from the Most High to do this. So risky, sure. Purposeful, definitely.
Yeah, but taking that decision instead of indecisive at 15, you're going, listening to a mentor.
Yeah.
Same thing happened to me at 18, and guy sent me a book and saved 10% of your income. 10 years later, I had $68,000. This is 78. I was making $3 an hour. So that's why I'm so related with you, much younger and handsomer, if that's a word. But no, I love that when you're telling me a story, my whole journey was coming up.
Yeah.
What was when you're 15, if you can remember, what was the first thing in your mindset said, what, take this? Did you want to run away or did you want to listen more?
So there's the source definitely helped impact the decision. So I will share that the source was my dad, who was in finance. So if anybody who's read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, kind of lived a little bit of that, right? However, I looked around. None of my friends were doing it. My brother didn't do it, or at least not to my knowledge at that time. So not to put him on blast, but so I was looking around, and the people around me in the most similar circumstances weren't doing it, right? But I leaned in, I listened, and I said, all right, it's a little bit of money. Okay, I don't really need it for anything. At the end of the day, whether I go out to my friends at the diner, after playing some poker or something one night, one less time, $10, $20, $30, whatever it is, here, it's a small amount, but when you look at how it compounds over time, and we did some of those illustrations, it's massive, right? We're not talking about a few hundred or a few thousand or a few 10,000. We're talking about hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars, depending on how much and how long of a time horizon. So when you look at the power of compounding, there's really no greater force working for you. So I saw that, took his advice, and that's how I ended up where I am. So to answer your question, I would say I leaned in pretty quick, but my initial reticence was kind of like, nobody else is doing this. I've never heard about this. Should I listen? At the end of the day, because it was my dad, I did.
Yeah, I love that you said that and nobody else is doing it. Because a lot of people go, my two best friends aren't doing it. Why would I do it? You took the opposite mindset, which I love. And what's your dad's name?
David.
David, shout out to you, my friend.
Yeah.
Great story. And make sure he got his due credit.
Yeah.
Now you're there and, and real quick, $10. You were saying, what was $10, $15 a month? It was very little.
Yeah, I mean, I was doing okay for the tips, but it's really whatever I had for tips.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a ton of money that I was making at this course. Yeah.
Yeah, good. Love that. Audience, take that, run with it. You're going to get Alex's information because the foundation is going to be tied to this. And let's dive into the foundation.
Yeah.
Let's get deeper into what are we doing with the foundation? How are we impacting people?
Yeah. So how we're impacting people is we're taking what our learnings are. So I'm all these books that you see behind me. I don't know which way to go. I'll go both ways so people can see. All these books you see behind me, I've read cover to cover, taken my notes, thought about how I can put it in and teach it out to other folks. So really kind of, I refer to myself almost like a museum curator. So I'm
Mm.
curating, collating, consolidating, crystallizing all the most powerful messages out there across life's most important skills. So I mentioned financial well-being, networking, interview skills, presentation skills, and then we teach that to folks in seminars, in small level cohorts. They can get a certificate at the end of the program. So that's what we're aimed at doing is really not just giving a baseline level of knowledge, but really trying to make sure you have skills that are not only replenishable or, transferable, but they are skills that are advanced and will really be ones that will compound over time to set yourself up for life success. So we're teaching this across all different age ranges. I would say ideally we are trying to reach that next generation. So people that are 18, 20 years old, where you can let compounding really run for you. That's our main focus.
I love that because education is important. And I'm going to probably take a shot here. I'm going to do it anyways. College education doesn't teach all that. And
No,
that's part of the reason you're doing this
no,
is those 18, 19, 20, 25 year olds, when they walk out of college, are like, whoa, what do I do now? I got to do an interview.
yeah.
Hello.
Right,
Don't know how to do
right.
that, which is
No one's
crazy,
immune
but
to it either, right? And that's what's
no.
disappointing for me is there are good career centers, there are programs I'm seeing getting better and better, but the level of detail that you need to be successful, not just to get the entry level job, but the level you need to succeed in life, especially financial well-being, that doesn't get taught. And I find it a very strange situation because the skills and knowledge that are least impactful on your life are the ones that are most incentivized in traditional education today. And the skills that are most valuable in your life are either least incentivized or not incentivized at all, right? It's not even offered, or it's no course credit or no extra credit on your course, whatever it might be. So it's very, very low, and that's disappointing.
That's financial. How many 25 year olds, not that they have to have a checkbook, but if they got a check, how to write it or what
Yeah,
to do with it when they get a check. I know we're going digital and all that, and it's changing,
yeah.
but those simple skills in your money. I mean, I think a lot of people wouldn't do a Roth IRA like you did at 15 because they know nothing about it. I don't know what that is. I might lose it because there's so much fear in finance right now.
There is.
And there's reason for it, but your education is going to just make huge impact. Walk us through the journey, how people can help you.
How people can help our program?
Yeah, the commence.
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate the plug. So as a 501c3 charity, we're focused, if there are donors out there, that's probably the easiest route where it'd be, hey, I'm giving to my school. I don't know where the money's going. I can't really make the impact I want. I don't really support exactly what they're teaching or in this case, what they're missing. So I would want to do something a little bit more with my dollars. So we've had a donor who we put in their name. The program was named after them and went to a school, and it was really nice for them to be able to get that recognition and have their dollars really get recognized for something that's going to make a lifelong impact on students. So there's a donor route, all different levels. I'd love to meet people in this space. So whether you're an administrator or an educator in a high school, in a college, a community college, happy to meet and help people there. And then also on the corporation side, internship programs, apprenticeships are rising, new hire programs, right? So happy to help there too. So really, we're pretty flexible on how we help. We just really, really want to make sure that we advance the missions of other people. So that's our main areas of focus, so the high schools, colleges, and the corporations.
We'll get the link where you can donate. I'm going to add something to this because Alex is doing some incredible stuff. I'm going to donate $100 right after this show.
Oh man.
If anybody donates, just let Alex know. or because I won't know. Let Alex know you donated because you heard this on the podcast. And if you do donate, I don't care if it's $5 or 5,000. I'm going to send you his book for free.
Wow.
So the first 5 people that donate, I'm going to make it 5 because one show I had like 100 people. I spent $2,000. I was going to spend $2,000 on books, which we won't get into that. But yeah, first 5 people you donate, reach out to Alex, we get the information, and I'll send you his book that you can read on top of being part of this foundation and learning more to help this thing grow, because young people need to make impact with young people. Yeah, I'm 64, but you know what you're doing, Alex, because you're relatable. You're a peer. Alex is, I'm going to learn from Alex. So let's move that forward. If you have any questions, again, we'll get his contact information. So let's do that. I want to get some books.
I gotta give you a round of applause for that one, Steve. That's a powerful moment, and I really appreciate your donation, your support. I think that speaks a testimony to not only how great of a podcast host you are, but as a person. And for those that might not realize this, if you haven't had interactions with Steve, Steve is one of maybe every 1,000, 10,000, 100,000 type of people that actually actively seeks to help. It's not just like, oh yeah, let me know if I can help. It's like, hey, I know this person, I'm going to introduce you, and they're going to introduce you to this person. There's quite a domino effect. So Steve, you're doing wonderful work. Don't change, right? Keep it going. So I really appreciate it.
Brother. Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah. Let's jump into the book now that I'm giving it out. You know, and of course you got to pay, but get the book and all that. Let's talk about the book because you're super excited about it, and so am I.
Yeah. So I think when we started this podcast, and let me know if I'm overreaching here, but we were talking about education, motivation, inspiration, right? Those are kind of the central tenets of the podcast. So we talked about education through the mission that we have with Commence Foundation. So motivation and inspiration is actually, you see the book behind me here, Maximize is what it's called, a playbook style countdown of the top 100 productivity practices. We talk about productivity, we talk about peak performance, we talk about purpose, energy, clarity, really anything that's going to help you get to that next level. So the book is broken down into really short action-oriented sections. So no section, I believe, is longer than 1,000 words. It's like 250 to 1,000 words. So you're talking about 1 or 2 pages per section. And it's designed for you to jump in and out wherever you need it. So if you need help on getting started, if you need help on sustaining the effort, finishing strong, or optimizing the output, optimizing the process, it's all broken down, skills-based for those sections. So it's a really designed for maximal efficacy and impact for each individual person and reader, depending on where their challenges may be.
It's beautiful. What's one of your favorite parts of the book?
Yeah. So
and you probably have many. That's a tough question, but 1 or 2 maybe.
Yeah. So there's a few that I would spotlight. I actually went through. I'm a list nerd, and I went through and I graded every single one of the 100 passages. So I'll pull that up as we're talking for which ones I liked best. But as I'm doing that, the one that sticks out in my mind the most is called, the topic is called Legacy, Leaving, Living. So it's not thinking about your legacy when you reach the end stages, because whether you like it or not, your autobiography is being written every day. So it's not like you get to start at 50, 60, 70 years old when you're thinking about it at your kid's college graduation or at your retirement party. What kind of legacy do I want to leave? You're already leaving a legacy. So you need to start tapping into that more, thinking about it more. I suggest doing a quarterly assessment, and I have about 15 categories, and it breaks down to basically how well am I doing, and then all the way to the other side is who am I becoming. And it breaks into your personal relationships, your fulfillment, your legacy, your spirituality, and you kind of give yourself a 1 to 10 grade in each category. So that's probably one of the areas that I like best. But I'm happy to go into more, obviously.
Well, one thing about that I love what the book sounds like is engaging and interactive for the listener. Yeah. Or if they're audible, I guess they're listening too. That's powerful because that keeps people's attention. And I love how you mentioned you go in and out of the book. I want to learn more about finances. I'm going to jump in. Oh, okay. This is what this is. And this is what that. Okay. Because, and not the books that people read through are great too. I like that because it's really a workbook in my eyes. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's the way to look at it. Yep. And the workbook is centered on habit formation, time management, motivation and alignment, energy cultivation. I would say if you're thinking about this book, it is a great launching point or springboard into 106, I think it is, other resources that are excellent. But I really love the stuff on energy. I think that's probably the most unique, is structuring your day around your peak energy, finding those positive energy cultivators, I call it. So those things that if you're feeling a little bit low, what helps, snap you into action? For me, it's exercise. For my wife, it's talking to her friends or family on the phone. But we actually in our course do 60 different positive energy cultivators so people can find whatever it is that really helps them. So there's a lot on energy in the book too.
Powerful, powerful stuff. The more I hear about this book, I'm definitely going to get it.
Yeah,
It's available, right? It's available
it
now.
is. I'm going to send you a copy. I mean, how could I not after
Oh,
your very generous
appreciate that.
offer?
I
Yeah.
love what you just did with starting your day, or when you're having a tough day. Because people come to me all the time, Steve. You're, oh yeah, I had a tough day. I lost a $20 million deal last year out of my company's pocket. Well, what did I do? I was human for a month, a day, 24 hours. It's what my guests taught me, which was why I guest hosting podcast. But the next day we jumped in, me and my partner Max, and found other opportunities. But when you're having a tough day, I tell people, go serve, go
Yeah.
volunteer. And I won't tell my story because people can have me on their podcast and you can learn my story because it's pretty powerful. But I love that because it's a game changer when you're in a depressive mood. And don't use that word, but I just used it, I guess.
Mhm.
When you're having a tough day, I love it because I exercise every day too. I
Yeah.
love that, but that's not for everybody. And I love
It's
that
not, right? So
Yes.
serving
This
is
is-
is wonderful. I wish we could do that. I do them as guided breaks for like 5 minutes. So I teach in the Pomodoro technique. So it's 25 to 30 minutes on. We take a 5 minute break. It's usually a guided break. I wish we could find a serving activity for 5 minutes. Maybe it's like signing up to serve. Maybe we can do that. I'm going to
Great
add that in.
idea.
That's a good one, Steve. Thank you. But
That-
another thing is
yeah.
people talk about having a tough day, right? And what I call premature day labeling. So if you have a tough morning, it's a tough morning. It's not a tough day. So I try to break my day into quarters. So I forgot where I first saw this, but morning, midday, kind of that 11 to 3 time frame, afternoon, and then nighttime. So break your day into quarters and then try to avoid prematurely getting down on your day. It's not a tough day, it's a tough morning, or it was a tough afternoon.
Yeah. Love that. Breaking up the day. It's like seasons between life, your personal and business.
Yeah.
You're gonna have a business season where you're gonna be away. What's his name? I love giving shout outs. I can picture him. You know who you are, but he taught me that. He says, you're gonna go away for business. I had to go away for 4 weeks. I told my wife, my season right now is business. When
Yeah.
he comes back and the business says you need no, I'm in a 3 week family, I'm still working, but I'm not going to travel. My season's family. So you really are nailing this stuff. I have a comment I get from a lot of entrepreneurs. I would love to get your input on.
Yeah.
They
hit me.
tell me starting before you feel ready.
Yeah.
How do you answer that?
Well, that's a big act of faith, in my opinion, when you start before you feel ready. So I think were the people who mentioned this, were they Christian by any chance?
Some probably were. Yes, some are.
Yeah.
Yes, correct.
Yeah. Okay. So for me, that's how it's been. It's been okay. I look at it from a logical perspective, and it's okay. It's not quite there yet, but I have this profound sense of peace, and I'm like, where is this coming from? Right? This does not feel like me. And so then I'm jumping into something because I feel led by the higher power, the Holy Spirit, God. So that's how I've jumped in earlier. But if there's a follow-up question to starting before you're ready, I'm happy to try my hand at that.
No, that's a great answer. That's exactly it. It's faith, hope, and you're going to take a little risk, some little risks, some big risks. I go to the grocery store today or tomorrow, and we hear stories of people. I wasn't on that plane when it crashed, or
Right.
I wasn't at 9/11. I'm not trying to, but we hear stories all the time. They made a decision, and I'm so big on no decision or making a decision. Make that decision. You can always pivot, is the word you used before the show, which
Yeah.
I love.
Yeah, and that's
Pivoting's
been
great.
so. My first book is on sales, and it's behind me, 100 skills of a successful sales professional. Bit of a mouthful, but number 6 for the skills is pivots effectively. So I was thinking about my first role at Oracle, and we had one primary solution we would sell. And I would call people, and a lot of times people have great pitches about that or great informational sessions. But if someone says, "Hey, I don't need that. I'm already," they would kind of be like, they wouldn't know what to say. So how do you find those segues, those shepherding statements to pivot effectively in sales, but also in life, right? So there's been several iterations so far of Commence. We were direct to consumer, we've gone different channels and routes. We're starting to realize that the grant space is maybe one of the more productive ones for us. So it's, keeping your eyes and ears open. And people always say that the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results, right? So some people might look at me and say, you're insane. You've been doing this for 6 years. You've had marginal success, if that. Why do you keep doing this? Well, one, it's faith driven, right? Number two, we are iterating, we are improving, we are changing, we are adapting, we are pivoting. So you need to be mindful of that. And I think that's an important point. The word pivot is extremely important in sales and in life.
Yeah, thank you. You really shared it in such a fascinating way because COVID was a perfect example. The people that pivoted, especially restaurants, especially my local area, did the takeout and outdoor, all that. They're still here. The ones that did, 40-year-old restaurants, family gone.
Yeah.
Because we're going to keep doing it. That's doing it the same way. No, get a pandemic here. Things have to change. So thank you for sharing that. Entrepreneurs listening, what Alex just said made you $1 million if you take action. It's huge, huge. Let's end the show with a little something different. I asked you the dinner question way back in the, who'd you have dinner with or get a table? I want to do something different with you.
Okay.
Somebody that's been influential in your life that you've never met. Who is that? And why would you want to meet them in person?
Yeah. I have to actually shout this one out.
Yeah.
Because it is in my acknowledgments. The first person in my acknowledgments, this is maximized, by the way, everybody, in case you're checking it out on Amazon, is Jim Quick. Never met Jim. He was the first book I read, his book Limitless, during the pandemic in 2020. And 2020 for me, I'm about to share this post on LinkedIn, but people have a little preview. 2020 for me, February 2020 was arguably the best month of my career. So yeah, I was about to hit my actually go over my quota before the end of Q1. I had just taken 2 beautiful trips, wonderful time. Everything was to the tops. I'm like, finally I can take a deep sigh of relief. And that lasted all of about 2 weeks, right? March 13th, the world shut down. So, but what I didn't realize is it was putting me on my path towards purpose. So April, I believe it was, is when I picked up Jim's book. I was walking around the neighborhood because you had nothing else to do. You couldn't go anywhere. I was walking around reading his book as I was walking, listening to his courses, things like that. So I read his book and it really kind of shaped Commence and what I feel is my purpose in life, my God-given purpose in life. So Jim is the person I get to shout out. And fortunately, I think he's supposed to be speaking at a conference that I am attending. And the person running the conference said, I'm going to introduce you. So looking forward to potentially meeting Jim in a few months' time.
It's rare, 915, 20, 30, whatever shows, over 900 shows. I don't think anybody's met their mentor yet that they've mentioned at the dinner table. So let me know, keep me up to date. I'd be excited for you to learn.
It's gonna be eerie, right? It's almost like seeing that super celebrity. Like some people might be seeing Taylor Swift. For me, it'd be seeing Jim Quick. I'd be like, wait a second, this is the guy, that changed everything.
Yeah. Well, if he's any good, if he's a good guy, sounds like he is, he's going to want to hear your story. I would if I was in his position. So
thank you.
Thank you very much. Incredible show. Thank you for that being very transparent on the show. And, audience, how can they connect with Commence? How can they connect with you, learn more, or be part of it?
Yeah, good questions. So commenceyourcareer.com, we'll drop that in here, is the site for our foundation, and it'll continue to develop the website. They can message me on LinkedIn. I'm always happy to connect with people. Just tell me something you learned from the podcast or something that called out to you or something you want to learn from our program. Just drop one thing in that connection request. I think it's 300 characters you're limited to on LinkedIn if you have premium and 200 if you don't. So I know it's not going to be a long message, but just give me something, even if it's in shorthand notes. But yeah, connect with me on LinkedIn, follow our website. And I always love to give back. So you kind of very generous offering the book. I was going to try to do something to offer back to your community, but we'll start with reach out to me and see how I can help you or your children, your family members, whatever it might be.
Audience, huge resource right there. Just open his whole playbook for you, which we should, as entrepreneurs, give everything away for free. It will come back to us in so many ways. Thank you again, Alex. Incredible show. You took the time to just again, be transparent, humble. I appreciate you, and I'm going to support you 100%. And audience, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Here's why. You're listening to this and you've got somebody you're talking to, or you heard a message at a party, event, they're like, man, I need to learn about this, or I need to learn about finances, or this. Share 10, 15 minutes of Alex through this podcast.
Thank you.
Then me and Alex are going to be happy because we just made an impact. Guess what? You just gave them a gift. You made an impact. And when we start the show with gratitude, gratitude leads to impact. So go ahead and do that. I love my subscribers. We have over 33,000. So thank to all of you. But let's share these out. Let's take the action. Let's not talk about it. So with that being said, me and Alex want to thank everybody for watching or listening to this podcast. And we'll see you all in the next episode of Doing Business with a Servant's Heart. Have a great day, everyone.